Can your relationship with an addict or an alcoholic be saved? That is the topic that we're going to be talking about today. Welcome back for another video. I am Heidi. I am so glad that you're here. I just want to take a minute and thank you again from the bottom of my heart for your comments and your likes on the video, because again, YouTube is an enormous place. And our mission here at Love Coach Heidi is to help as many people as we possibly can. So every time you comment and like this video, it helps us help more people. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am ready to dive into today's question. What an important question it is. Maybe you have children. Maybe you've been in this relationship for a long time or a little time, but one thing I know for sure is that you love the person that you're with. It's kind of like Jekyll and Hyde, right? There's two people, the person you know you love, the person you married, the person you were attracted to in the first place, and the person they've become. And the addicted personality has taken over. And now you're left wondering, is my person even still in there? Can I get my person back? And what is this relationship going to look like in the wake of the damage that has likely been done? It doesn't matter if somebody's been addicted or alcoholic for a long period of time or a short period of time, because the damage can be done. Just as much damage can be done in a short period of time as in a long period of time. And unfortunately, one of the things that the addict or alcoholic doesn't get or understand is sometimes they think that they're only impacting themselves, but we all know that everybody's impacted when it comes to addiction. And oftentimes the spouse is the one who's left kind of wondering what to do, what not to do. If their behavior is affecting somebody's drinking or affecting their relapse. And so that's what we do here at Love Coach Heidi, is we want to uncover all things dysfunctional relationships and help you, give you the tools and education and insight that you need in order to stop the dysfunctional cycles for good and break these toxic cycles, that you can have the relationships that you deserve, truly happy and healthy relationships. But right now, a relationship with an addict or an alcoholic is anything but healthy. You are in a relationship with a dysfunctional person. And in order to function in the dysfunction, well, that creates codependency. And as a codependency coach, it's my mission to help you understand how codependency plays a role in this dynamic, so that when somebody gets better in their addiction, that you're not still playing the same codependency game with them, and you guys keep going on this roller coaster or this merry-go-round without a destination. That's the definition of insanity, going round and around and around and never arriving anywhere. So let's talk about the 3 steps that we need to consider if you are going to save this relationship at all. These are the 3 things that need to be in place if it's salvageable. All right. So I'm not going to give you definitive, like you should say or go. I have other videos on that topic. You're more than welcome to look around. I'll link one in the comments. Should you stay or should you go? But for now, I want to talk about the 3 things that need to be present just to figure out if it's fixable. The first thing that has to happen, and this might seem like a no-brainer, but it's not a no-brainer, because I see it all the time with my students and clients in my programs. By the way, if you're interested in one of our programs at any time, you can go over to lovecoachheidi.com and learn about Empowerment School, which contains all of the resources in one place, plus 4 weekly semi-private sessions with yours truly, where you're able to dive into this information and actually implement it in your own lives. And I'd be happy to have you in one of my programs or courses. So the first thing that we have to do is, if we think about, wound care, because we've been wounded, right? And this relationship is like wounded. The first thing is actually you have to stop the bleeding. And a lot of people misunderstand this first step. They think, well, we can just keep working on the relationship, but you can't work on the relationship if they're not actually, if it's still bleeding, if they're still bleeding. All right. If they're not getting any better and they're still using any substance at all, whether it's, they're drinking less or they're using less, that's still using, you can't get dry under a waterfall. You can't put a Band-Aid on a flesh wound. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of the thing that's causing all the pain immediately, which is get them into some kind of a treatment program. And again, this isn't what they tell you they're going to do. Like, I'm going to go to treatment, I'm going to go to meetings, and you're like, yeah, okay, maybe I can believe them this time. And that's how you're basing, can you fix this relationship, is like the lip service they pay over and over again to wanting to get better. And yeah, I realize what I'm doing, I'm going to make a change, but no change is happening. So the first thing that you need to make a commitment to doing is to stop listening to what comes out of the mouth of your spouse and watch what they do instead of listen to what they say. Everything you need to know about a person is revealed in their behavior, not what they intend to do, what they actually do. Are they doing the damn thing or not? And if they're still actively using and you're trying to get better and repair the relationship, that's like putting a cake in the oven before you've actually mixed the batter. There are steps in order to make something successful. And the first step is you have to remove fix the bleeding, right? Stop the bleeding. And so, like I said, in order to do that, the definition of insanity is just waking up to the same problem day after day with the promise that they're going to get better or something's going to change. And every single day, it's Groundhog Day. There is no fixing a relationship inside of Groundhog Day. You make no momentum. You get no forward motion. All you're doing is just like having the same conversation every 24 hours, and nobody's having any movement. You have the delusion of movement. You think you make some headway because you had these conversations, but it's just empty promises and nothing happens. So the relationship cannot be saved and is not fixable if treatment is not a part of it. And treatment for your loved one is what I'm talking about. Now, I don't care how they get better. All right. I'm not going to dictate somebody's treatment. I have another video that you're welcome to find here that is, I can post it again in the comments, called Trying to Control Somebody's Addiction, Trying to Control Somebody's Recovery. It doesn't matter how they get better. It matters that they're taking steps to actually get better, whether that's a 90-day treatment plan, whether that's a detox with an intensive outpatient, whether that is meetings, Celebrate Recovery, or other AA, whether that's hiring a coach, a team of people around them, whatever it is. When you're inside of one of my programs in Empowerment School, I give you the actual things they should be or could be doing so that you're aware of these things and you know exactly what recovery is supposed to look like. Because without that information, you're kind of scratching your head wondering, is that what they're supposed to be doing? You actually do need to know what recovery looks like, but you can't control the recovery. So you'll be able to tell if they're actually doing the darn thing once you have the education that you need. And that is just a big goal of us here at Love Coach Heidi, is to empower you with education. That's actually the first step. A lot of people don't even know, what does recovery look like? We want to help you understand that so that you know if they're doing the damn thing or not. So that's step one. Step one, that's my cuckoo clock, if you can hear it in the background. When I was growing up in my grandma's house, she had a cuckoo clock, and it always made me feel like just so peaceful, and I loved it. And so I told my husband about it, and lo and behold, he bought me one for Christmas. I'm not sure if it makes me feel peaceful or not, though. It interrupts my videos every time I'm making one. Okay. So let's get back to that. So without the treatment, without the interruption and the bleeding, without stopping the bleeding, without the detox of whatever behavior is happening, then there is no chance anything is going to get better. So if that's not in place, the answer is no, right? But if that's in place, then we move to step two. After there are things you can do, by the way, to help somebody get into treatment. I know people say, well, they have to want it or they have to go. And I have to tell you, in the 10 years that I worked inside of a drug and alcohol treatment center as a coach and a teacher and a group facilitator, that very few times was it like somebody came in all on their own, motivated. Oh yeah, I can't wait to be here and interrupt my life and take a time out from everything. 9 times out of 10, it was an outside influence that had brought them into treatment, and that's perfectly fine. And inside of our programs and certainly in our groups where you can bring these questions up, we talk about the right way to help somebody motivate to get somebody into treatment so that you know the steps that you can take to actually help them, because you do, believe it or not, have more control in that area than you think. I've seen it time and time again. I mean, I've helped hundreds of families and thousands of clients, and the family does play a key role in helping somebody make the decision to get better. So here's the thing. You can help them make the decision to get better, but you can't actually help them have the discipline to see it through. Decisions and discipline are two totally different things. Decisions help us start, but discipline helps us finish. So discipline is up to them, but the decision you can certainly have influence over. There are things that you may be doing that are making it easy for somebody to stay sick, like having Groundhog Day 24-hour conversations. That's just spinning your wheels, and that's a form of enabling. Buying into their excuses, listening to their justifications, believing, giving them one more chance. These are all enabling behaviors. And again, of course, when we're working together, we go into detail on exactly what those enabling behaviors are, because you're just doing what you're just trying to do what'll work, right? You're not doing this and setting out to enable. You're doing this because you love the person and you're trying to do whatever you can to help them get better. But many times the things that you're doing are actually helping them stay sick instead of supporting their recovery and motivating them to get the treatment that they need. So I want to help you make that distinction and stop doing the things that are preventing your whole family from moving forward if you're playing a part in that. And then the second thing is help you understand what it looks like after they make that decision to see it through. So if they've done that, and they've just committed to treatment and they're on their way to getting better, now you, the loved one, the spouse, mistakenly thinks, oh, thank God that's over. Now the whole family is just going to get better. But you're missing a very important part of this process to fixing or saving the relationship, and that's dealing with you. You are going to be left, whether you believe this or not, with shrapnel. Okay, you have been wounded. I call that shrapnel, the fallout. Addiction looks a lot like narcissism. I say this a lot in my videos because it mimics narcissism. It lacks empathy. It doesn't care about your feelings. It does things maybe out of character for the person, looking like a narcissist would, shaming you, blaming you, gaslighting you, and you have been in a war without weapons with this person in this addiction, and you can have a form of complex post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress. And you have effects. You have anger that you need to deal with. And a lot of us are afraid to express our anger once they get out of treatment because we think that we're going to make them relapse. You have lots of feelings around the hurt or the pain that has been caused. And there's lots of things, lots of feelings that you need to deal with, and lots of things that may have happened in the addiction. I have lots of students and clients that tell me some pretty shady things and terrible things that have gone down while their loved one was in addiction. Money that has gone missing, cheating scandals that we believe somebody was unfaithful, or shrapnel with the kids. If you're in a relationship and you have children, I'm going to tell you the children have been impacted. So the second step is to get a handle on just how you have been affected. If you're going to save and fix the relationship, you've got to take a look inward. And I know that's hard a little bit because we think, well, they're the problem. If they just get better, everything will be fine. They're the reason that we're struggling. So if they get well, we'll be okay. And I'm here to tell you, not without some kind of help and intervention with you so that you learn how you've been impacted and you have a safe place to process your pain. You cannot go to the source of your pain, the addict, to heal the pain. When they get out of treatment, they're barely going to be able to take care of themselves and their own recovery. And albeit all of their effort, as you will learn, should be to work on their recovery, not mend the relationship right away. So while they're out of treatment after step one, they're working their recovery, you get to work on your recovery and you kind of independently heal. And that is a necessary part. That is step two. I know that codependence, as a codependency expert, codependence has been a huge part of this relationship. And that's why we have our codependency program as part of empowerment school, because codependency looks very different for a lot of people. We take on a different form of codependence. Some of us have been a controlling codependent, where we've tried to control the addiction and do everything. Others have been a fixing codependent, where we've been the one to make all the calls and right all the wrongs. And others have been enabling type of codependence, like a pleasing codependent, where you've swept it under the rug and made it everything okay. Others of us have been pretending codependents, where none of our friends know what's going on. Nobody knows. We look good from the outside, looks like a great family, but meanwhile it's falling apart behind the scenes. There's many different types of codependence. There are 8 different patterns in this dynamic that I've developed, and it's my goal to help educate you and help you spot your pattern. You can start there. You can go over to lovecoachheidi.com and download my free book, Attachment Personality Patterns, and learn which pattern you've been enacting, so that when you do come into empowerment school, we'll have a good place to start, even though I teach that from the beginning in empowerment school. But you can come into empowerment school having had a head start. So that's step 2. You've got to realize not just how the addict and alcoholic needs to get help, but the whole family needs the support. And I know that, like I said, that's hard to come to terms with for many of us, because we just think, well, if you just remove the problem, but take the stake out of you, that you're going to be that time will heal the wound, but it doesn't. It leaves a mark. We need to figure out how you've been impacted so that you can heal. That resentment will keep cropping back up in your dynamic if you don't heal that resentment's going to keep coming up and keep coming up, and it's the relationship is just going to keep Groundhog Day in a different way. All right, so step 1, they go on their own and get their treatment, and I can help get them started on that path, okay, and navigate that road. Step 2 is you get the support and help that you need for yourself and the entire family. We do that inside of our empowerment school. We have many programs that are all included in that: understanding addiction, learning how to set boundaries, figuring out how you've been impacted, your codependency pattern, unraveling that pattern at the root, healing the damage that's been done, so that you can go to step 3, which is now you come together as a family and you do the work together and you all work a family plan. Right? And that's where, once your partner has been healing and you've been healing, now you're in a better place to come together. And you're not coming together with 2 wounded people like, fix me. You're saying, let's come together and be in a relationship as a couple, both healed and whole, and coming together to add value to each other, not to take from each other, not to divide, but to add value to one another. And then you work on the family plan, and that's maintenance. You go to detox, then you get into a treatment, and then you get into a maintenance program. And this is the fun part. This is where you decide as a family what you value and what you believe in and what your compass is, what the plan is. If things go awry, you set plans in place and you learn how to set boundaries around your family dynamic and protect your family and have a plan in place in case things go sideways. Again, so all of these things you can see are very important. If you miss any one of these key ingredients, the relationship is not going to be able to be saved. It's not going to be salvageable or fixable, because all 3 of these things need to be present. I'm saying this to you because I've had a decade of experience helping thousands of clients and hundreds of families, and these are the main 3 keys. If one of these things are missing, or we try to bypass a step, let them get help and let's work on the family plan, but you don't get the support that you need, it's just not going to work. You have to have these 3 key ingredients in order for this relationship to be successful. But here's the great news. If you're committed to this person and you love this person, this might sound like a lot of work, but not to the person who's truly committed to the relationship. To the person who's truly committed to the relationship, and I know that can be a hard place to be in, because right now you might be on the fence and you need to figure out, well, that could be true too. And you can figure that out in empowerment school. You can ask yourself, should you stay or should you go? What do you really want? Many of us come to conclusions in empowerment school about a lot of things, about the jobs we have or the career path we have or the relationships we have. And we come to terms because a byproduct of empowerment school is you're freaking empowered. Okay. You get your power back. And so once you have that power back, you feel equipped to make some new decisions and some new choices. So either way, it's a win-win for you. But if you're truly committed, it's an exciting thing because you think, oh, this is it. I just have to do these 3 things. Okay, great. I'm ready to do these 3 things because my relationship matters to me. I do want to save it. We are happy. We, outside of this addiction, we have had happy times. I do see that we're going to be able to be together. We have children that, we want to be able to work through the relationship, right? Or maybe you have children and you say, I don't want to keep exposing this to them anymore, and I want the strength to exit. Well, you're still going to need to do the steps. You're going to need to remove yourself from the person and work that through and get the help that you need and have a maintenance plan for your family. So either way, Empowerment School really is a solution. I'd love to see you inside. It's the most economical way in order for you to get the help and support that you need. It's, a lot of people go to Al-Anon and get support, and Al-Anon is a great place. It's a wonderful place. But part of the thing with Al-Anon is there are specific issues that you have that you actually need answers to. It's great to hear other stories. It's great to get support. And of course, you get that inside of our semi-private group. But what you also get that you don't get in a lot of the other places is strategic advice. Okay, when you tell me your situation, I'm going to be very crystal clear on exactly what to do and what not to do. And I know from experience, what my families value and treasure is this invaluable information that nobody else is talking about. But through all my years of experience, my almost decade of experience, I'm able to understand pretty easily what you want and then help support you in that, obtaining that through telling you the do's and don'ts and how to manage this. Because again, I've seen it all, as you can imagine, in the 10 years that I've been serving this unique population. And it's my heart's desire to serve you too. So I hope you allow me to come alongside of you. Consider joining Empowerment School. You can find everything you need over at lovecoachheidi.com. And I'll see you very soon, hopefully inside my program. Leave a comment, like the video if you found it helpful today. Again, it helps us help more people. But these are the 3 steps. I want you to do them with me, but if you don't do them with me, make sure you do them. I believe in them. This isn't a 3-step process in order for you just to come to Empowerment School. Of course, I'd love to have you in Empowerment School. All right. Obviously, I'd love to have you and come alongside of you and help you even more. But if you don't have me help you, have somebody. These are the magic steps. This is the formula, whether it's me or somebody else. I believe in this formula. I know this formula works. But I just want to encourage you to make sure that if you resonate with me, there's no reason not to have me come alongside of you because, again, it's the most economical way to work together. All right. I love you. Take excellent care of yourself. I'll see you soon in another video or over at lovecoachheidi.com or inside one of our programs. Bye-bye.